people are on.
What's up, everybody? So we are officially streaming right now onto Instagram and LinkedIn. We're about to test out a new feature that StreamYard just dropped, where they say we can now stream to Instagram as well through StreamYard. Y'all know we've had a lot of issues with feedback and things like that. So we're gonna try to test this out, or we're going to test this out. Hopefully it works. If it works, then we'll be able to eliminate any feedback or any issues. If it doesn't work, then we're just gonna revert back to what we've been doing before. But just at least want to give y'all a heads up as we go ahead and test this feature out. All right, so far, for those of y'all that are tuning in right now, looks like a lot of people are already waiting for this stream. So thank y'all for hopping on here. Really excited about this conversation I'm going to have with Corey, talking about manual QA, QA tester, software tester, a bunch of different names for it that all essentially, for the most part, mean the same thing. But a really good conversation we're going to have, because a lot of you have been asking about QA testing boot camps. And she did a QA tester boot camp from actually somebody who was a guest on the Tech is the New Black podcast. So we're really excited about this conversation that we're going to have with her to talk about the boot camp, talk about her experience, give y'all all the insight, all the nuggets and gems that y'all need and want. And I'm trying to multitask right now and upload this stream key for Instagrams. I think we're good to go. Come on, Instagram. Don't play with me. Trying out this new feature with StreamYard, y'all. I'm going to try this one more time. And if not, then we're just going to have to do it the regular way. QA tester. All right. And for those of y'all that are interested in the discount code, I'll just go ahead and tell y'all right now, the discount code is actually her name. So if you just type in Corey, you actually will get $150 off of the boot camp. So really affordable boot camp already. So that $150 helps out a lot. And the real cool thing about it is that the reason why we wanted to do this stream sooner than later is because the price is actually going up in February. So I wanted to do this stream sooner than later, so that way more of you will be able to take advantage of it before the price goes up. So y'all can take advantage of the current price as well as have $150 discount off of the boot camp that she did. All right, so yeah, it looks like this StreamYard thing is not working. So we're gonna have to do it the traditional way. So we tried it, StreamYard, y'all failed us. Got me looking crazy out here. Technology. Using a tech company's technology failed during the stream.
Clearly their QAs didn't do a good job.
It is what it is, though. So I'm about to go ahead and start this stream on Instagram. All right, remove that off of there. All right, cool. All right, great. All right, we're going to go ahead and start the stream on Instagram now. Oh, I'm tripping. Sorry, y'all. I'm just adding the people on Instagram to the stream as well. All right. Oh. I'm sorry, y'all. 1 second. I have to stop the stream really quickly, and Corey and I are going to come right back, literally just in 1 minute. We're going to be right back, y'all. Just hold tight.
Here you go, baby.
We are back in business, y'all. Appreciate y'all for y'all's patience. That was wonderful, wonderful patience. You
Shoot back.
Oh, yeah.
I was about to let my dog out of the room, so just 1 second.
Okay, I'm gonna hit the mute button. All right, what's up, y'all? Had a few technical difficulties with LinkedIn and YouTube, but we are good to go now. We here on Instagram, on YouTube, on LinkedIn. Y'all know we got a QA tester who did a QA test boot camp. The actual boot camp that she did is from one of the guests that we had on the Tech is a New Black podcast. So it's really dope to see the guests that we've had on the podcast that are really helping a lot of people break into the tech industry with a really dope role like QA tester. And so, Corey, if you can actually send me a request to join on the Instagram Live, and then I'll go ahead and accept you on here. So, just waiting for her to join on the live. Y'all know, as always, we have discounts to the boot camps. I'm never going to tell y'all about a boot camp or a course or something that doesn't help y'all out. This is a occasion where I actually don't receive a kickback. Tech is New Black doesn't receive any kickback for this. So we're really excited to be able to do this and tell y'all about the boot camp. Just a little bit about it. People on YouTube and LinkedIn already know this. She's about to come on right now. People on YouTube and LinkedIn know this already, but the boot camp, they write the price. It's already a really affordable boot camp, but the discount code, as y'all can see, that's pinned right there, is actually going to be her name, which is Corey. So if those of y'all that are on Instagram, if you comment the word or the phrase QA tester, then you'll automatically receive the discount information in your DM. So again, it's just QA tester or QA test, and then you'll receive the discount information. For those of y'all that are on LinkedIn and YouTube, you just have to check the dedicated link that's there to head to the boot camp. But the discount code, again, is her name, which is Corey. So not going to go over that too much. Just at least want to tell y'all that heads up, because that's whenever I do a stream and I don't mention that ahead of time, people be in the comments, they watch it later and be like, what's the discount information? That's the discount information. So now that we got that out of the way, we're going to go ahead and jump into this conversation with Corey. I'm really excited about this conversation, y'all, because the way she found out about the boot camp was pretty unique. It's very different from how most people have found out about boot camps. Usually people, you know, a lot of y'all find out about boot camps because y'all hear me talk about it or hear me mention it. I'm not going to spoil how she found out about it. I'm going to allow her to tell that as a part of her story, as a part of her journey with her breaking into tech. But as always, y'all, make sure y'all are being kind and loving towards one another. Make sure y'all are being kind and loving towards myself and my guest, Corey, that's on here. The purpose of these streams is not to cause anybody to be depressed or look at your situation and be sad, but it's to inspire, it's to bring hope, it's to educate you on the opportunities that are in the tech industry. So just want to say that so that way y'all understand, because right now there's a lot of people that are flexing to try to tear people down or make people feel like they're less than. The whole purpose of this is not to make anybody feel less than. The purpose of this is to inspire you and to show you opportunities that God has out there for you. Just want to be very, very clear about that. Anyway, that being said, we're going to go ahead and jump into this conversation with Ms. Corey that I have on here. So, Corey, thank you so much for coming on here. And yeah, we're gonna jump straight into it. So, just on a real quick high level, this is gonna be probably the first thing people care about, and then we're gonna jump into like what you were doing before the boot camp, all of that. But just really quick on a high level, if you could explain to people how long was the boot camp that you did, and how long did it take you, like overall, before you landed your first job, which is your current job as a QA tester?
Yeah. So one, the boot camp, it is self-paced. So I actually purchased it last year, January 2023.
Wow.
Yeah, literally it's the anniversary. And I purchased it. I was looking at my receipt, which was weird. I don't know why I looked at it today, but it was on the 29th of January, 2023. And so I did that. I was like, yeah, I'm going to start the year. I'm going to do this course. I was going for a couple of weeks. I was already working at home, so it was easy to kind of like watch the videos on one screen while I'm working on the other. But I think just over time, life got busy and I slowly stopped. But in this boot camp, there are internships. And so the June internship was coming up and it was the beginning of May. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this boot camp. I'm going to do all the courses right now. I'm going to do the pre-internship homework and I'm going to do this internship. And so I did that every single day. I kind of made a schedule. I just would watch the videos in the background, watch them multiple times if I didn't understand them, do all of the homework assignments, submitted the pre-internship homework like the day it was due. I submitted it. So I almost was like, dang, I might not get in because the next one wasn't going to be for a couple of months. And I said, absolutely not. Like I need to do it right now. But I got in, did the June internship with Jenny, which honestly, if you don't get this course for any other reason, the internship is just going to set you light years ahead in preparation for the interview and knowing what day-to-day is like as a QA engineer, QA analyst, however you want to talk about it. Yeah. But I really did that internship and I treated it like a job. Mind you, I had a job at that time. I was doing the internship, which does require some work. Like you need to be present. You want to actually make sure you're understanding what you're doing so you can talk about it during your interviews. And then I also caught the flu in the middle of June. So during the last couple of days of internship, I was getting behind. I was out in my bed just trying to do it on my laptop, but I knocked it out, ended up working on my resume for a couple of weeks. I wasn't getting bites at first. And Jenny very much tells us like, hey, like if you're not getting bites, redo your resume, keep tweaking it. So I was using ChatGPT. I was going back, looking at my current job description and really saying, okay, what lines up with what a QA does? How can I rephrase this to sound better? How can I actually put my skills in there to sound better and not just like a button pusher? How can I talk about SQL, API, which we'll get into if you don't know what those things are? Yeah. How can I talk about automation, coding? How can I tailor them so I don't have to make a new resume every time, but only tweak a couple of words? And once I finally got my resume, like it just started going off completely. And I also had to change my strategy with applying. You have to be applying consistently. Yeah. If a job was posted within 24 hours, I was applying to it. That is so important. So look,
I love everything you're saying. I want to dive into this on a deep level, basically kind of like the direction we're going. But I guess first, just on a high level, how long after you completed the program was it that you started at your first job? And then I want to go back to the beginning and then go through everything in a bit more detail.
Yep, I jumped ahead. My bad, y'all.
No, you're totally
So
fine. You're totally
finished
fine.
finished internship in June. Resume was done by July. Had interviews lined up in August with multiple companies. Ended up landing my first offer in August, and I like accepted that offer even though I was going through interviews because they just had the most flexibility, and I started after Labor Day on the 5th. So it happened very quickly. September 5th. I've been at my job for a little over 4 months now, and it has completely changed my life in 4 months.
So beautiful.
So yeah,
that's so beautiful, yo. That is so dope. I love that so much. Look, y'all show her some love, like just off that testimony alone. That's fire. Love that so much. So I want to go back to the beginning because there are it's a variety of people that are here on the stream. It's a lot of people that are here on the stream that have never done a boot camp. It's a lot of people here that are on the stream that don't even really know what tech industry is, let alone what a QA tester is, which we're gonna get into that in a minute, y'all. And so we want to kind of like try to hit on as much as we can to address most people. For those of y'all that have questions, make sure that you have your questions ready. For those of y'all that are on Instagram, make sure you're putting your questions in the question bubble or question box, whatever it looks like from your angle. Make sure you're putting it in there. For those of y'all that are on YouTube and LinkedIn, I'm going to spend some time to make sure we're going to spend some time to answer some of y'all's questions as well. So make sure you have your questions ready, but don't ask them too soon because we're not going to see them right now. Because her story alone is going to answer some of the questions by itself. So anyway, so this is something that I didn't ask you ahead of time, but what were you doing exactly before you even thought about getting into the tech industry? And then what started to like build up that desire for you to consider getting in tech?
Yeah. So I was working in healthcare. I don't know how many people actually know this. I worked in healthcare. I worked specifically with clinical trials, really great hospital, really great job. The pay just wasn't what I wanted. And I knew long term, just the path that I was already on, I kind of reached the maximum of growth that I could have within that role, within that department. And so 2020 happened. We got sent home. We were able to work from home. Luckily, no one was laid off. And we weren't patient facing. So they told us we're going to get to stay home. So I was like, okay, cool. I get to stay home and work. But I'm not getting paid enough technically for the workload that I have. And so I just kind of started thinking, I was like, Lord, like, I know I'm not supposed to do this. I was planning on applying to medical school. I got my master's, but I just feel like you're pulling me somewhere else. And so I started just thinking about what I enjoyed doing when I was younger. And I was always on the computer. Like I was actually coding when I was younger, but didn't know what it was. Which is really funny. And it was just simple stuff like web development, HTML, CSS, like a little bit of JavaScript.
Oh yeah, the simple stuff that I don't know how to do. I don't know how to do the simple stuff.
But I realized I was like, oh, let me just try to become like a developer and self-learn. Wasn't for me. Didn't like the self-learning. I need structure. Your girl was suffering. I was just like, I hate having to put together my own course. Yes, there are YouTube videos to follow, but no. Then your video popped up and it was Instagram algorithm, whatever it was, because I was looking up tech. But I think it was your video when you were dancing on your like balcony or something in your room.
It's this balcony, by the way, y'all. I was dancing at this balcony.
And so I was like, wait a second. And no joke, I think my friends will even tell you, I think I sent them that video. And I was like, yo, like, this is what it is. I had a conversation with my mom. I was like, I need to be a sales engineer, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, okay. And then I realized, I was like, I really don't want to interact with people that much. Like, and I'm a people person, but I get enough of people in my own life. So I was like, okay, let's see what other options there are. And you were interviewing people. You're interviewing a lot of sales engineers, but you interviewed someone who was a QA engineer. And I can't remember his name right now, but he worked at MailChimp. And I remember his story. Carl. Yes, Carl.
Yeah.
And what he talked about, I was like, now that sounds like what I can do. And it can be a path to sort of pivot into software development if I choose to still go that way. And so I started looking it up. I'm sorry, my dog is so loud in the background. But I started looking at that. Stop. So started looking that up and ran across careerists. I was like, I don't have thousands of dollars to spend right now, but I went to all their free sessions. Like I was showing up because I'm going to get any information I possibly can. Hold on one second. And then after that, Instagram ads brought up Jenny. And it still took me a couple months to even sign up for her course because I was like, this can't be real. Like, I'm looking at all these testimonies, these people lying. Ain't no way they're doing these courses and making these money. These people taking our money. And so I'm just going to be honest.
Hey, that's real. That's so real. Yeah.
And I'm sure everybody like felt that way as well watching it. But I said, you know what? Like, if I'm going to spend any money, I can afford to pay for Jenny's course. I attended her free master sessions as well. I was like, yeah, this sounds like something I can do. And then on a whim, when she had a promo, it was at the beginning of the year, I was like, you know what? I'm going to sign up. And so I did. Didn't take it as seriously as I could have, but then right time, right place, it happened when it was supposed to. I did take the course. I did go through the material. I did learn. She is a really great teacher. She makes it so simple. Also, like her family, she put all her family on to QA. And so they're also sharing a lot of content as well. She gets other people to come in and lead classes. She also has sessions where you can come and ask questions. And so there were a lot of resources available for me to learn what I needed to learn at the pace that I needed to learn it.
If I can interject really
go
quickly.
ahead. Go ahead.
So Jenny, who's the founder of the bootcamp, who she keeps referencing, Jenny was a guest on the Tech is the New Black podcast. Let me know in the comments if any of y'all saw her episode. Incredible episode. Just like Corey is saying, for those of y'all that don't know, Jenny's story was that I'm pretty sure she did a QA bootcamp some years ago. Mm-hmm. She broke into tech. And then after a while, I'm not going to say what all she was doing. Y'all got to watch the episode. But basically, she went from her and her husband together. They went from making like $40,000. They were like broke. Like they were living in the hood. They went from making $40,000 to in just 5 or 6 months, they were making collectively like somewhere around like $250,000. So it's very similar to my story. How I told y'all I scaled really fast. Her and her husband scaled really fast. Yeah. And she helped her husband. Then they started helping family members and other people. And they started showing people how to become QA testers. And then from there, they decided, okay, we're going to go ahead and build out this boot camp so we can help more people. So that's really everything Corey is saying is really in line with Jenny's story. My bad. So
no, you're good.
So keep going. So keep going with your story though.
Yeah, but they're right. She put everybody on, and I really loved that too, because there really is room for all of us. And the more I was taking that course, the more I realized I was already doing everything a QA was doing, but I wasn't getting paid that money. And so I was like, absolutely not. And so first thing I always tell people is start at your company. I was working towards getting into an official position where I have the title with my company, but this other job offer came through, had better benefits than my company, which was going to be hard to beat. My company had a really great starting salary for the role, really good benefits since I'd already been there 5 years. So I was nervous to leave, but I took the chance on Jenny's course, took a chance on the internship, really strategized so I could put my best foot forward in those interviews. And I asked for what I was worth because I definitely was lowballed because I didn't know better. And you have to research the market. You have to research and know what your skills are worth. And you also have to listen in your interview. I took notes every single time. And so I worked for a small company, and I really wanted to make sure if I was signing up to be a part of this small company, that this was a financially healthy company, physically healthy.
That's very important.
And when the president told me how much each person brings in, like just revenue wise, I was like, oh, that's like 10 times the amount a normal small company does. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to be set here. Like, and a lot of people have been there forever because they are set, and we have unlimited PTO and company trips and things like that. So I'm like, oh yeah, this is where I can go. And I have room to grow since I am their first official tester. And I'm pretty much building out their systems and helping the BAs and helping the developers and really fine tuning that process for them. So it's been great. I I can't talk about Road to QA enough. My friends know if they've asked me about tech, I'm like, you just need to go do this course. That's all you got to go do. I'm telling you, it will change it for you. I can truly say that because it did it for me, and I was not expecting it.
So you said that you're the first person. I was having some weird light issues, but you said so your company hired you on, and I want to backtrack a little bit, but I just want to make sure you answer this first, or I'm curious about this first. So you said that they hired you on, and you're the first QA tester that they brought on.
Yep. And my specific title, it's my specific title is user acceptance test specialist. So UAT specialists, they tend to follow a UAT process versus QA, and there's some differences there.
Yeah.
But overall, I'm still implementing a lot of things that I learned from the QA perspective, just because it encompasses like testing overall, which is a big thing to just kind of cover as well.
I love that so much. I love that so much. And I'm going to tell y'all really quickly why this is really fire. And I hope that y'all are not just inspired by her in terms of like, you know, breaking into tech or being a QA tester, but also not shying away from opportunities when a company wants to hire you on as the first person to do something at the company. Because the opportunity that's there when you're accepting things like what she accepted is that when you're the first person, you automatically have seniority. You automatically are the person that's kind of helping them carve out what that department will look like as the company grows. So that gives you a certain level of, not that it's impossible to ever get laid off or anything like that, but it gives you a certain level of security. That's a greater level of security. It gives you a certain level of, as the company scales and grows, she will automatically be put in the bucket of leadership at the company, which is major, which also means that as the company grows and scales, and as they grow and scale that department, she now is in a position to where she can help like reach back and help a part of the hiring decision of bringing other people on as well. Not saying y'all flood her DMs on LinkedIn saying like, yo, get me hired at your company, but just saying that there will be an opportunity. Like God has really put her in a dope position to not just educate y'all on here, but in the future as the company grows and scales.
We lost Cyrus for a sec.
Right, somebody started calling me.
Okay.
Let me put my phone on airplane mode. All right, cool. I'm on airplane mode now, so hopefully no more interruptions. So it's just a really dope opportunity. So I think that's super, super fire that you didn't just break into tech and then just break in at a dope company, but you also broken in at a position that's going to set you up and potentially set a lot of other people up as well. So that's super fire. Super fire.
And I thought about it that way too, because I was initially scared to take this role. It is like maybe about 4,000 or 5,000 less than I would have gotten at another company. I'm still making great money though. But the benefits at the other company were horrible. I was like, I won't have any vacation time. What is this? Where are the holidays? And I was just like, no, I can't take this on. So money is not always worth it. You have to think about your growth as an employee. And for me, I was like, I'm going to take away so many skills that whenever I'm ready to enter the job force again, if I'm not getting what I need from this company, I'm already going to be light years ahead because of what I've implemented, because of what I spearheaded and started at this company. And so I'm just really excited. And I want to tell people not to be afraid, like you said. And the only reason why I wasn't afraid is because I really felt like Jenny prepared us. And also that internship, I treated that internship like it was a job. I was taking notes every day. I was taking notes in my interviews. Like I was really preparing myself, reviewing that stuff. And I wasn't stopping until I really was like, I'm confident with this. So if you need to tweak if you need to tweak your interview skills, do it. Partner with somebody, work on those interview skills. And I really, like he said, jump by faith. I really did. I had to trust God because I was scared the whole time. I submitted my salary negotiation letter, chef's kiss. I'm not even about to lie. The research I did, I came with market research for why I was asking this money. I came for verbatim what y'all said in the interview that I had to do because I was taking notes. The physical health of the company, growth. You want me there for longevity. It was in there. And I was nervous. I was on a vacation. I was in New York. And I was like, I can't worry about this. I'm just going to submit it. And if they say no, then I just keep going because other companies are still interviewing me.
Wait, I'm curious, who trained you on submitting, basically submitting like that package or reviewing everything when it came to their offer?
So we actually learned that in Road to QA. There's a whole part on salary
That's
negotiations.
crazy.
Yes.
I'm gonna be real with y'all. Look, I gotta stop real quick. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I have never heard of a boot camp doing that. Like I know
Yeah.
boot camps telling you like, okay, be confident about asking a certain number.
Mm-hmm.
Most boot camps will tell you roughly how much to ask for. Or they'll give you a range, or they'll say things like, oh, that's what the market is paying. But I have never heard, I did not know that they did that.
Yeah.
Like y'all don't understand how important this is. I want to make sure y'all catch this. I've actually never talked about this during my stream before. A lot of y'all that are breaking into tech will DM me, and you'll get an offer. A lot of y'all are DMing me saying, "Oh, Cyrus, I accepted this offer from a company where they offered me like 60,000 or 65,000," which, you know, that's not bad, especially starting out like you're new to tech. But usually I encourage people like to not accept an offer that's that low for most roles in tech, because that is pretty low even starting out in tech. And unfortunately, it didn't hit me until recently. I was talking to a friend, and they actually, and Shanae does this as well. She's in the comments right now. I was thinking about Shanae, and I was thinking about another friend, and I was like, you know what? I don't talk at all about the importance of understanding that you don't have to accept the offer that they give you. You can actually counter the offer, but the biggest thing is that you need to know how to communicate that counter so that way it makes sense to the company. So I want to say I apologize to everybody. A lot of y'all that are in tech right now, because you watched my content and I didn't explain that before. I definitely take accountability on that. You know, so I want to apologize for that. But that is crazy that Road to QA trains people on that. That's fire.
Yep. And so they talked a lot about salary negotiation, and I still had to do my own research, right? My research came from everything I pulled away from the interview. It came from like looking at template, like sort of models that were online. I found this amazing website where somebody literally structured this thing because, one, women are less likely to ask for raises. And I've asked for salary negotiations at every single time I got a promotion at my last job. And they just cut me, like just said no. And I was like, this is so disrespectful. So I was scared. I really was scared to ask for this. But I had to do my research. I had to stand on what I got from that interview. And I had to stand on the skills that I had. I was like, I'm coming in and I have all of the experience that you need because I worked in clinical trials. Another thing, leverage your skill set. I came from healthcare. I've worked on systems that are in high demand, Encore, Epic, databases, all of that stuff I knew. So I was bringing another level to this role that they needed, was somebody who's already familiar with this. So the only thing I'm learning is their software and how it integrates with these things.
That's fire.
And so you want to talk about that thing. I'm bringing this skill set to this role, 5 years of experience and blah, 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 or whatever. And you would like for me to help scale over the future for this, this, and this. You want to mention all those things that you pulled away from your interview process and bring those back up because they already like you. That's why they gave you the offer. And I was able to get over 10K more than what I was originally offered because I was very, very excited. And I still think I would have gotten more because I gave them a range. So had I not given them that lower number of my range, I wonder if I would have gotten that number I actually wanted.
Did they jump on the lower number from the range? That's facts. Yeah.
I would always say, and the range was good still because I positioned myself really I took the national average, my regional average, averaged those two numbers. And I was like, okay, this is the lowest I can accept based on those two numbers. And this is the highest I will accept because this is my first role. Like, I'm not going to be crazy. Right. I'm not going to be crazy. But I thought about it because I had my first meeting and the person who kind of is above me, I love my team. Great. Just really great. She said the president after I was there was just like, I wish we could just clone Corey and make more of her. And I was like, no, I should have asked for more.
Exactly. You know, Oh, okay. Hey, you like, all right, you like, wait till that 6 month review come around. See what y'all talk about. See
Yep.
what y'all talk about there. No, that
So
is incredibly fire. Thank you so much for sharing that, because y'all I think a lot of y'all don't understand how valuable that is, because like she mentioned, she got $10,000 more. Potentially she could have got 20,000, 30,000 more, who knows? But you understanding the value, or not the value, you understanding how to position your response to an offer letter is literally worth tens of thousands of dollars of more money that you'll be able to get.
mhm.
Corey, I know you mentioned that you're making, again, you just recently started out 4 months ago. Um, Roughly how much is the pay increase from what you were doing in healthcare
Mhm.
versus you breaking into tech?
I've almost doubled what I was making in healthcare, and I do still get to work from home. I have unlimited PTO. I have a 401k match. I have it in a Roth 401k. What else? I don't pay for my health insurance, which I didn't do at my last job, and so I don't pay for it here. They pay for my life insurance. They pay for like my disability, all of that stuff. Just things I wasn't expecting. Cell phone allowance. I do not have a degree in tech. I just saw that. I actually will give you a little backstory. I was on the path to medical school, PA school, or medical school. Honestly, I could have done either one, but I just didn't want to spend that much time in school anymore. And so I started looking for other things and I landed on tech. Thank you, Jesus. But really, I do have an interest in tech. It wasn't just the money. I find what I do exciting. I am still upskilling myself. I don't stop. Even in my interview process, I was letting them know that I continue to learn. I'm doing a
Yes.
database certificate now. So I will be certified in working in SQL. And I'm doing that through Meta. So that's going to be great. I'm also learning JavaScript because the developers want me to help with automation, since I do have some exposure to that. And they're welcome. They're open to teaching me. They're like, if you can learn how to do a couple scripts, that's just going to take a lot of our off our plate. And I said, of course, I would love doing that. And
Yeah.
so I'm now at this position where I'm like, do I want to move more into automation? Do I want to focus more on database? Or do I just want to actually continue to expand those skills and just be as well versed as I can in all of
Yeah,
them?
so many different
Um,
directions you could
there
go. Like,
are.
so fire. I
Mhm.
saw so I've seen a few comments of a lot of y'all that are popping in that are asking what boot camp she did. So the boot camp is called Road to QA. If you want a discount to the boot camp, just comment the phrase, just comment QA tester or QA test, and myself or somebody on the Tech is New Black team will send over the information for you for the boot camp, as well as the discount code, which is actually Corey, her name. So
Mhm.
literally, you comment that, we'll send over to you the discount link and discount code, all of that information. So that way you'll have that. The price is going up in the next couple of weeks. So one, of course, definitely I encourage y'all that are interested to take advantage of it. If you're curious about more information, the founder of the bootcamp was actually a guest on the Tech is New Black podcast. So if y'all want to check that out to learn more about the founder, she's a really phenomenal person. I'm seeing a lot of people in the comments that also have done the bootcamp as well that are like really singing the praises of the bootcamp. So I definitely encourage y'all also to check out the people in the comments to get other testimonies as well. If you're curious about feedback from other people, you can see that in the comments section. Always a beautiful
Mhm.
thing. Always a beautiful thing to see. Anyway, so that being said, so I want to delve into some of the other questions. We are a little bit short on time. I want to be mindful
Can I
of.
add one more thing too,
Oh, please, yeah, go
Cyrus?
ahead. Yeah,
Jenny's boot camp, yes, this is manual testing, but she is going to make sure you know way more than manual testing. She is always updating her boot camp. And so I'm still in it. She updated it with programming stuff. I'm still reviewing and going through all of that
yeah,
programming stuff. I was just watching some videos today. So no, you will not just leave that course a manual tester. You will leave a QA analyst, a QA engineer, a functional tester, a systems analyst, whatever you want to call yourself. And you're going to realize I'm doing this at my job already. If you work with computers or things like that, you are
Mhm.
constantly troubleshooting. You are constantly looking for defects. You're constantly finding ways to resolve those things. Now you'll just get to work with the team where you are doing that. And then last thing, do not stop at just wanting to be a manual tester. Automation is the future. Yes, we will always
yeah,
need people to double check that work because computers will not always get it right. However, people have to work computers,
Yeah.
period. So learn those skills. It's really, you just have to find the right person to help you. And in QA, it is a community, especially if you sign up for that part of the course. You're doing it because of the community aspect. I would get on calls with each other where we teach people. Plenty of times during internship, I would take time to go help other people because teaching them also helped solidify the things that I was learning in my head as well. So that way I could teach it because I was already training people at my other job. So I'm like, well, let me learn how to train people for this because then I can train people on a job. And so just do as much as you can. Give yourself grace. You don't have to finish it in a month. She has internships going on all throughout the year, but give yourself a goal to work towards so you don't feel like you're not making any progress, if that makes sense. So that's it. I'm going to leave it at that. God's got
No,
you.
no,
It's going
that's
to work out.
incredibly fire. I love that so much. So just to clarify, so when people do the boot camp, it's so, and I want y'all to understand how important that is. That she mentioned that it's not just manual QA, but she mentioned QA analyst, QA automation, all of those other things, because again, that makes you incredibly robust and puts you in very high demand in the industry. But just for clarity, so when people sign up for the boot camp or they do the boot camp, they still have access because Jenny did tell me that too, that they're constantly updating it with new trainings, new information. But people that have finished the boot camp still have access to that new information and new updates.
Mm-hmm.
That is
Yep.
fire. That's crazy fire. I love that so much. I love that so very much. And yeah, what the point that she mentioned about QA automation being the future, those are facts. Please don't stop at just manual QA. Take advantage of the other trainings that are in the course because, again, the name of the game in the industry right now, there's really the two saving graces in the tech industry. One is upskilling, which is something that she's doing already. The other one is having some type of like tech brand in the industry as well. You don't have to do both, but I always encourage people that you need to do one or the other. Because whenever I've seen people get let go from any company in the tech industry, it always was people that were doing zero upskilling. They just literally just got in the industry, was kicking their feet up, flexing their money, living a lifestyle, working in tech, but we're doing zero things to upskill and we're not communicating what they were working on or what they were doing within their company. The second reason is people that aren't upskilling, they're also not showcasing their knowledge or their expertise on LinkedIn or on other platforms. You don't have to do both, but one or the other is incredibly, incredibly important. Both, of course, is best, but one or the other is incredibly important. So I love that they're doing that with Road to QA.
I am guilty of not using my LinkedIn, but that's going to be part of the goals for 2024. I just hate any social media sort of thing, but I know you have to use it. So it is what it is. I'm here.
Yeah. So we got a question. We're going to jump into the questions now. The first question I want to answer, I want to let you answer this. So someone asked me, can I explain what I mean by upskilling? So can you please explain, Corey, what does upskilling mean?
Yeah, so I'm going to try to make this like an illustration. So if you think of a foundation of a house, that's like the basic knowledge that you need for the industry, right? You want to understand what software testing is. You want to understand what the software development life cycle is. You want to understand what the social testing life cycle, software testing life cycle is. Talking about social media and I say social. So these are like basic things that you want to understand about what a tester does and how that falls into the software lifecycle, because that's what you're going to be doing on a day-to-day basis. Now you want to build on top of that. What type of testing does this person do every single day? Do I understand these tests? If I do, let's go on to the next thing. Okay, what's database testing? Learning that SQL, learning that's this, and there are queries for that. Then you want to build some more on top of that. So each time you're building, it's like adding a new level or a new story to this house on the foundation that you already have built. So that's what I like to think about upskilling. It's just a way to always make sure you have skills that will keep you in a job. That doesn't mean you will never get laid off. We see tech companies laying off people all the time, but it does mean it will position you for a better opportunity of getting back into the workforce because you have high and demand skills that companies are looking for. And so if you look at any job posting, you can see what they want you to know. You can see what type of applications they want you to use. and you can talk about those things in your interview and those skills that you have. So hopefully that helps.
No, that was a great answer. Only cherry on top that I would add to that is also it's more money too. Because as you're upskilling, one, your company is more likely to promote you faster because they see your knowledge is growing. So now they have to match your income, not just in terms of your tenure and your experience in the market, but they also have to increase your income based off of your knowledge growing. And also it gives you, even when it comes to either job hopping or other companies wanting to hire you, now you're talking more and more money. So it's not just you increasing your knowledge, it is also you increasing your demand as well as what you can demand during those negotiation conversations. Make sure y'all are putting, those of y'all that are on Instagram, make sure y'all are putting your questions in the question circle or question box, because we're not going to be able to keep up with the comment sections. So someone asked, does the bootcamp teach Selenium? I'm not even sure what that is. Do they teach Selenium?
So we do talk a little bit about Selenium in Catalan Studio, and Jenny is actually making even more updates to include that. I shouldn't even say a little bit because there's a whole section on it in the internship, and there's a whole section. So I don't know why I said a little bit. So we do talk about it. You are not, at the beginning, you're not doing the direct coding in there, but that is being added, and there will be more of that. However, I still say you need to take some time to learn that. Like what you learn in the course, you're going to have to continue learning on that, because that will not just sustain you. That's giving you the foundation, and then you build the upskilling part, right? So yes, she does talk about it. Selenium, Catalan Studio, Rainforest QA. There might be some other things that I'm forgetting, but yeah, those are like the main things I can think of right now.
What about, so I know someone mentioned, they say that you mentioned SQL and JavaScript. Is that something that they have within Road to QA, or is that something fire?
Yes. So SQL is there. I don't know about JavaScript just yet. That might be included in the new programming part that I'm going through right now. But there is a resource that she shares. It's a website. I think it's like W3 Schools or something, where you can go and like she posts a lot of great places for you to go and continue learning after she teaches you those things. So I use W3 Schools, but then I liked SQL a lot. So I ended up just going and finding a free certificate course. I don't know if it's still free anymore. That was like a special they were doing. So
yeah, that's super fire. All right. So yeah, anybody that's interested in the bootcamp, just again, make sure you just comment the word QA tester and you'll receive a DM with all of the information about the bootcamp, the discount code, the link, all of the stuff that you'll need to the boot camps. I'm saying a bunch of questions about the boot camp, and it's like if you just comment that, you'll receive all of that information in there. So get into some of these other questions before you got to jump.
No worries.
All right. So
actually, after this, y'all, I'm going to continue upskilling myself. So I have a class that starts at 7 my time. So, you know,
that's
it doesn't
stop. So she's literally in tech and she's still upskilling. She's literally going to jump off of this and continue up. And again, y'all, this isn't anything that she has to do. It's one, something she's excited to do, but two, she sees the value in doing these things as well. So someone asked, how long was the internship work hours wise?
So I was able to maintain it while having my job, attending a whole conference, catching the flu, being bedridden, all of this. So you can do it. I am a single person, so I will admit that as well. Like I only am caring for myself and a dog now. But if you have a family, you talk with somebody who can help you, like sit down and have some quiet time. We have people who would just wake up earlier around 5 or whatever, spend like 2 hours working on their assignment or an hour. If you could dedicate 2 hours every single day, I think you should be good. If you need more help, you are not doing internship alone. You have a group of people you are with. And so those people who needed help, I would just take time and say, yeah, let's go through this together. And I didn't mind. You also get a partner during internship that you will be working with. So you have a partner, you have the entire group that you can work with anytime. And then you also will just have Jenny as a resource too, because you meet with her every day.
All right, so a few people are mentioning the price that have signed up. So someone said that they signed up recently for $897. So yeah, so it is $897. That's it. But the discount code is actually her name, Corey. If you actually put in the discount code, you actually get $150 off. So you'll be able to save $150. So I'm going to stop there. I was going to say some more, but I want to try to get to a couple more questions before she has to jump. All right. So, would I be able to upscale from QA to SE? Yes, you can. They're not the same type of job. I want to be very clear about that. They're different jobs, but you can make a lateral move over. Now, it's not like you can do a QA boot camp and then just automatically switch over to sales engineering. You will need to have certain skills because there are two different jobs. It's not like tech sales and then switching to sales engineering. It's easier to do that than it is to go from QA to sales engineering. Not saying it's impossible, but it's highly improbable. Highly improbable. All right. Somebody asked, are you able to work more than one contract over employment? Basically,
let's talk about it. So
first we got to explain to people what that is, because everybody doesn't know what overemployment or job stacking is.
Yes.
So first you tell people what is overemployment, and then talk about it.
Yes. So I don't know how much I should say. I'm just gonna like err on the side of caution and not say Jenny's name. Oh well, I said it. But
I can say some stuff.
Yeah. So
she said it on the podcast.
She did, and technically, I learned about it from my uncle's friend. He's a software engineer, and he be working 3 contracts at a time. He is living it up in Atlanta. That's all I gotta say. And so, like, making I think anywhere upwards $400K a year, because he just takes quick contracts here and there, just whatever, and living it up. So you can do that as a QA. There are plenty of contract QA jobs. You can, they're W-2, they're corp to corp. There's another term that I can't think of right now. It just depends on however you want to do that. Right now, I have one job that is enough for me because I have a busy personal life, but I am thinking, about a contract eventually one day, so we'll just, I
looked up the video from my interview with Jenny when she was on the podcast. So the title of the video, I actually gave y'all the wrong number when I said that after like 4 months, she was making about $250,000. She actually went from $40,000 to $400,000 in under 6 months. And part of it was because of job stacking. So they literally went from like broke household living in the hood. They were living in a ghetto. They went from that to almost making $500,000 a year in less than half a year. And so, but part of the reason why they were able to do that is because she was job stacking or overemployment, like what Corey is talking about right now. So somebody asked, do you make commission? I think the answer is no, but I'll let you answer.
No, we do not make commissions. We're not selling anything. We are specifically working in the software development lifecycle. So it's literally a process of developing software. That is what we're in. We are working from the analysis phase all the way through maintenance. There is not just what phase we're working in. We are not just testers. We are analyzing requirements. We're working with the UI UX team, developers, to make sure things look like they're supposed to make sure the user interface is showing up as it's supposed to make sure the processes and the functionality of the website is working as it's supposed to. And if it's not, you report those things as defects and you work with the team to make sure everything gets up to date, and you kind of help stay on top of them if you don't have like a scrum master and things like that. So that way you guys can retest and hopefully get things done before release. So
yeah, and that's good. Somebody said, dang, no commission. Trust me, y'all, you don't need
you don't need it.
You won't need commission.
You don't need
it. So anyway, so look, Corey, I know you need to go. I
have it up on my other screen just in case they haven't started this yet.
So look, once you gotta go, just let us know. So I'll try to get through as many questions as we can while we have you. So how long was the internship work hours wise?
So again, I'm going to be honest, if you just have 2 hours to spare per day, you should be okay. And that's like maybe 2 hours uninterrupted time. However, there are deadlines when you need to have like certain things through. If something comes up in your life, they are flexible and they can work with you. But there is a time frame for internship. You do not have to be in front of your computer all the time. She records anything that is missed and you can go back and watch that on your own time. But yeah, for me, it was not difficult. Again, I'm a single person. I was already working from home. So that kind of gave me a little bit of an advantage, but people were still stepping in they were at their jobs doing whatever they were doing, still jumping into internship calls. So if you really have the time and you can make it work, you will be fine. And you can also plan internship if there's one closer to maybe like a holiday time. Like they're all throughout the year, they're different times. So you just figure out the one that works best for your schedule and aim for that one.
So the person clarified, they said when they put SE, they meant software engineer, not sales engineering. So their question to reiterate, I was thinking the answer is yes. So just to reiterate it for everybody to understand. So as a QA tester, and you're more than a QA tester, I want to be very clear and I want to reiterate that for everybody. But can you make a transition from that to being a software engineer?
Yes, I definitely could. There are actually some companies that the software engineers are the QA testers, and they'll specifically be called like software engineers in test, I believe. There's different terms for it. And so for me, I'd like to develop my skills to where I could be considered a software engineer, or I could be considered just QA, or I can do a bit of both. I think in terms of the workflow and how much work they have to do, I've realized I may not want to just be a software engineer only. So maybe like a software engineer in test, because that's more my flow and things like that. But yes, you can totally make that transition. I work with plenty of software engineers who are open to teaching me, and they're always like, Corey, you want to learn this stuff so you can get more money in and everything. So they're not mad at even teaching me so I can make more money.
Someone asked, someone asked, can you get hired without a degree or experience? Yes.
Yes.
You don't need so for those of y'all that don't know, I know it's always new people popping in. The whole premise of me talking about the opportunities in the tech industry isn't just because of the income, but it's also because I'm telling people, I've been talking about this for the past couple of years. There's never been a better time because now degrees are not required. Like you have opportunities like with these tech boot camps where the companies, as long as it's a quality tech boot camp, companies don't care whether or not you went to college. They care whether or not you have the knowledge and if you can communicate that during an interview. The boot camps, all college is a place where they give you information. You can either do self-study yourself or you can do a boot camp to get information. And so boot camps are like short, condensed colleges that don't have a whole bunch of extra courses and classes you got to take and are significantly more affordable, that don't put you into a whole bunch of debt. So yeah, like whether we're talking QA or we're talking other roles in tech, even software engineering, the most technical of technical roles you could think of in the tech industry, cloud engineering, whatever, you don't need to go to college at all. I didn't go to college. Jeannie didn't go to college, who's the founder. She didn't go to college specifically. I don't know if she didn't go to college at all, but I know she didn't go to college for QA. She did a boot camp. Corey here did a boot camp. So yeah, you don't need college at all.
And to say that, I did go to college, but like I'm not doing anything with that degree. My master's degree helps a little bit because I'm still in the healthcare space. But even then, like, what if I were in a different industry? It really wouldn't have mattered. So if you want to go to school, cool. But the cool thing is I've learned now that those things aren't always necessary. So unless you want to go to like medical school or be a dentist, like you ain't gonna touch me unless you went to school. So sorry.
Excuse me if I misspoke. So Corey went to college. She just didn't go to college to work in tech.
Yeah.
So got a few more questions in here. And Corey, please let me know when you need to jump, because I'm gonna just keep going through these questions.
I'm still looking at it on the side. They're chilling.
Cool.
So
you know what's funny? What's funny is that Jenny said that when she was job stacking at first, she said that what she would do was that she would have in headphones. She would have in a headphone for one. She'd be in 2 meetings with 2 different companies that she was working with, where she would have a headphone in for one company on a Zoom call, have the headphone in for the other one. And whenever she needed to speak with one company,
mute the other one.
She would just mute the other one and like answer the question. And then, so she was really job stacking, like working.
That's hilarious. And you know what? It's possible because the great thing about tech teams is that like half of them are in their pajamas. They do not have their cameras on. They do not want to be seen because they don't start working until 3 p.m. Specifically developers. Everybody else is working, but the developers are not really functional until a little bit later on. and they like to work at 11 p.m. and it's fine. So nobody questions them.
Yeah. And those are super facts. Those are super facts. If you do a course for UI UX, can you get a job in QA? Is that the same field?
So, not exactly. I think understanding user experience and user interface can be good skills for you as a QA because right when you're testing, you do want to think about the user and like how they are interacting with your application. That should always be like somewhere in the forefront of your mind. Now in QA, you are going to be focused on other things like non-functional testing, security. There are other things that I'm just forgetting right now, but definitely as like a user acceptance tester, which is where I'm focused a little more heavily right now, I'm always thinking about the user. I'm thinking about their experience. I'm thinking, does this look right? This color is kind of weird. This doesn't match with the formatting that we have everywhere else, along with the functionality of the website and making sure that they can go through their normal workflow. So it doesn't hurt. However, it's not something I would put toward like unless you actually want to do UI UX, which is great in tech. There's a whole field for it. You don't need it for QA. You could just learn some basic principles on design. Period.
Yeah. So that's my cosign. Yeah.
Yeah.
So some of these questions Corey might not be able to answer, but I'll ask them either way. Someone asked, does the bootcamp work for Canadians?
Oh, I'm not sure. There is a help desk that you can message, and so I would say message them before you sign
Yeah.
up for the course, just to make sure because every country kind of has their own way of paying people. Now, I know my friend she works for a tech company and she was actually on here, but they do have a Canadian office and they do have QAs there. So I want to say yes, but at the same time, I would still just, check out the difference maybe between like Canadian regulations and US regulations for the field before you sign up.
Yeah, that's really the biggest thing because the answer isn't really yes or no. I mean, maybe Road to QA doesn't train people that are Canadian, but usually it is most tech companies. It's really based off of the probability of you getting a job in tech based on
Yeah.
where you live. Now, you being in Canada, thank you, Dre, for the super chat. I'm gonna make sure we're gonna answer your question next. Thank you for that. But because you're in.
Oh, sorry. I think I can do like two more questions and I'll jump.
Okay, cool. So I'll answer this really quickly. So companies hire you usually based off of the time zone that you live in. Canada and the US, and of course the US is the biggest hirer of like tech roles right now. That is changing because more companies are popping up around the world. But Canadians and the US, we're literally all North Americans. Like, so you more than likely would be fine. But again, like she mentioned, contact Road to QA's help desk and ask them. So the question we got from Dre Harden, thank you again, Dre Harden, for the super chat. Look, y'all, I don't be asking nobody to send in no super chats. I know no money, but if y'all blessed or y'all want to bless, y'all want to do that, I'm never gonna say no. So I'm always appreciate that. Dre Harden says this channel, he says, Master IT, Black Heights, TG, and others are leading a wave of change. I've got class tonight in an hour because tech is the new black. Oh, thank you for that, bro. I appreciate it. Oh, so he's saying, okay, my channel or tech is the new black, Master IT, Black Heights. Shouts out to Black Heights. I know the founder of the founder of Black Heights also is a founder of a boot camp. Tech G, I've never heard about that, and others are leading the wave of change. Yep, y'all, like it's a lot of us collaborating together, not even collaborating together, but a lot of us in general that God is using to help more and more people. They look like us, more Black and brown people get into the tech industry. A lot of us that think either we're not a good fit for the industry or think that you have to be very technical or think that you need a college degree. And it's a lot of us that are basically letting people know, yo, that's not the case. And if there's an opportunity for us to really start making money, build wealth, do all of those cool things that we talk about a lot as a community, this is a very huge opportunity for us. And that's the whole purpose of these streams. The whole purpose of talking about it is to help more people be able to just do better, have more freedom in their life, and just make more money overall. That's really what it's all about.
Amen.
Miss Hill asks, should we apply for junior roles after the boot camp? I see jobs asking for years of experience.
So this is one of the things you're going to learn about in the boot camp. No, you do not just have to apply for junior roles. I was not limiting myself to junior roles because they really try to underpay you. I'm not even sure who is taking these junior roles, to be completely honest. Now, there are a lot of people who are not confident in themselves and do not want to like go for that larger role. And I get it, but you can because you will have the skill set to do it. So, yes, apply for a junior role if you want to have it on the side, and then keep applying for those bigger roles as well because you can get them because you will have the skill set. And so, just be confident in yourself, work on your interview skills. A failed interview is not a fail. You learned from that experience. You knew what kind of
Yes.
questions they were going to ask you. You got to interact with the people. Sometimes it's just not even a culture fit. You don't even like, you wouldn't want
Yeah.
that job because you're going to realize you're in it and you don't like it. So you definitely don't have to apply for junior roles. You can apply for regular roles. Sometimes you can even apply for senior roles. And Jenny will teach you all about how to do that and really how to get the money that you deserve. So
Yeah. Don't think of it as a place of lack. You haven't done the boot
yeah.
camp yet. So don't think, oh, I'm gonna need to do this. Like y'all can see like how Corey's been communicating everything. Like the boot camp makes you very equipped. So right now
Mhm.
you don't know anything. So you're thinking like, oh, I don't know. But when you actually do the boot camp, and as long as you're actually taking it serious, you will come out of it like being very equipped, very confident, understanding like how to communicate certain things, understanding like she mentioned earlier, like the company that she's at gave her an offer, and she was like, no, I know that I know so much now, and a large part of it was because of the training that she had gotten in the boot camp. So
Mhm.
so don't try to think about it too much before you've actually done it.
I mean, and also, what's the worst that they can say? No.
Yeah.
Okay. No, you won't give me that much money. Okay, so then I will take the job and then I will keep looking for other jobs.
Yeah.
So,
Whenever you do an offer, and Shanae, recruiter cousin, and other people that have been on the Tech as a New Black podcast have talked about this. Whenever you do a counter offer to the offer letter, it's not like they're going to say we don't want to hire you anymore. So
mhm.
if a company offers you, let's say 85,000, and you counter with 100,000, usually the answer isn't going to be no. Usually the answer is going to be, okay, well, this is how much we're actually able to do. So maybe they can
Yes.
only do 95,000. They'll tell you, okay, we can do this much. We have this much in the budget. Is this okay? They're not going to say, oh, we offered 85. You asked for 100. We're not going to hire you no
Mhm.
more. But you have to understand at this point, they have interviewed so many people. If they send you an offer, that means everybody within their organization has unanimously agreed, we
It's you.
all want this person. We want you. So now it flips it around to where now they're hoping their offer is good enough for you to now
Mhm.
accept them. It's almost like you're dating somebody. They cut off everybody, and now they want to be with you, and they ain't got nobody else to go to because they don't came to you with the offer. So now they hoping that you accept the relationship. I don't know why I'm always
Mhm.
using these goofy analogies, but anyway, hopefully y'all get the point or get the picture.
Okay. I gotta go now, though.
Okay. Thank you so
Okay.
much, Corey, for
No
coming on. Appreciate you
problem.
so much.
Yes. I hope it helped everybody and like y'all got this. Jesus got you. And so
Yeah.
I'm really excited to hear about more testimonies from all of y'all. So it's gonna be good.
Yeah. Thank you
Bye,
so much.
Cyrus.
Appreciate you
No
so much, Corey.
problem. It was fun.
I'll
Do
see
I
you
just
soon
hang
in
up?
Houston.
Yeah.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, you just all right, y'all. I'm gonna hang tight and I'm gonna answer a few more questions, as many of the questions as I'm able to say answer when it comes to this. But yeah, for those of y'all, I see a lot of new people popping in, popping out. Again, just comment QA tester and you'll get all the information that you need about the boot camp, about the discount link, discount code. So that way you're able to save $150. The boot camp is only like $897, and you get access to everything as well as all of the upgrades that they're making as upgrades they're constantly making within the boot camp. And so Corey's still in the back room. I kick out from the studio. Kick off guest. All right, cool. So anyway, so yeah, you'll get all the stuff that you need and be able to save $150. Again, the price of the boot camp is going up in the next couple of weeks. That's why I wanted to be able to hurry up and do this stream with Corey, so that way y'all can learn about it. Because I mean, even when the price goes up, it's well worth it. Because again, She paid less than $1,000 and now has a 6-figure career, and her income is going to constantly go up. So that's an incredible investment that completely transformed her life. This is her 1-year anniversary from when she first signed up for the boot camp. But anyway, I'm not going to go all into the spiel because she already explained her entire story. Somebody say, oh my God, I hope everyone does it that can. QA rocks. So high note, notary, I guess you're a QA tester. That's fire. Those of y'all that are on YouTube and LinkedIn that are commenting QA tester, you're going to receive the link to the boot camp tonight after this stream. Those of y'all that are on Instagram, y'all are probably going to be receiving it automatically because the Tech is the New Black team is already kind of here on this stream, and they're looking at those of y'all that are commenting QA test, and they're sending y'all the information. Again, y'all, myself and Tech is the New Black, we don't receive a kickback. Y'all know usually I get some type of kickback or referral kickback from whenever I refer a bootcamp to people. That's not the case when it comes to this opportunity. I'm literally talking to y'all about this solely because this is a fire opportunity. It's a fire bootcamp. Great opportunity for everybody. Y'all know I'm just trying to put y'all on. Usually Tech is New Black gets a kickback from the boot camps, but this is a rare occasion where we don't, which I'm totally fine with. That was something I actually discussed with the founder and told them that we didn't need a kickback. We just want to help people get a discount into the boot camp. All right. Dana says, is the link for the discount the same that's in the description box? Yes, it is. So for those of y'all that are on YouTube and LinkedIn, if y'all just look at the description, the link is already in there. So if you literally just use that link, and then also the discount code that's there, you'll be able to save $150. Anyway, let me get back to the questions. All right. Does the bootcamp have an automation course? Yes, it does. Is a Google certificate equivalent to a tech bootcamp? No, nothing close to it at all. A Google certificate is a good addition to it's a good addition, but it's not. It's certificates in general, y'all. And I'm for certifications, online certifications, tech certifications. I think they're okay, they're cool, but trust me, you going online and just learning a bit about a job does not teach you. And also, a Google certification doesn't teach you about a job. It just teaches you about a segment within Google. So y'all, please don't fall for the certification trap of thinking like you're just going to get a whole bunch of certifications. Usually I know a lot of people do it because people could pay $50 or $150 for a certification. Sometimes you can find some free ones. But trust me, you stacking a bunch of certifications, slapping them on your resume, and then applying to tech companies is not the sauce. It works every blue moon for people, but usually I'm not gonna delve into like why that works out for some people. So get some certifications. That's cool, but definitely don't put certifications before boot camps. How long is the code good for the course? So I'm not sure exactly. I know it's good at least for this week. I'm assuming it'll be good for at least the next few weeks since the price goes up. It goes up February. So it should be good between now and then, but I can't like guarantee that. But I'm pretty sure it'll be good between now and then. What's other questions? All right, someone asked, not sure if you understand, did she try careers first and then roll to QA? No, she just did roll to QA. So what she was saying is that, so she was interested in tech. The algorithm showed her my page. She started out watching me go live, the same way y'all are watching right now. She watched me go live with Tiffany Poole, who also, Tiffany Poole did the boot camp that I did. She did careers to be a sales engineer. Tiffany Poole's a sales engineer. I'm a sales engineer. Corey, who y'all just saw, watched my stream with Tiffany Poole. And interestingly enough, both of them are dreadheaded Black women who both like broke into tech. So I think it's pretty cool. And also both of them worked in healthcare. So it's like both were in healthcare, both got some fire dreads, both brown skin, super. A lot of parallels right there. But anyway, she saw that stream and she saw the stream with a homeboy of mine named Carl Duperval. I knew Carl years before he was in tech, years before I was in tech. Carl and I used to work security, overnight security. He kept telling me how he was trying to get in the tech industry. This is years before I ever talked about tech on social media. He was telling me how while we were working overnight security, he was trying so hard to get in tech. He broke into tech and never looked back. And so when I got into tech and I started talking about it, I brought him on to it for a stream just for him to kind of educate people some. Corey, who y'all just saw, she saw his story and she decided she wanted to do what he did, which is manual QA. She looked at the options between careerists, and careerist is a few $1,000s. It's not super expensive, but it's definitely not cheap. And so she chose the algorithm eventually showed her Jenny, which is the founder of Road to QA. Once she saw Jenny and she saw Road to QA, she did some research. At first, she thought it was cap, like, you know how a lot of people think that, which is pretty normal. But at first, she thought it wasn't legitimate. But eventually, after doing some more research, she decided to go ahead and do it. Fast forward, now she's in tech. Yeah, for those of y'all that are asking how long is the course, how long did it take her to get a job, I would encourage you just to watch the stream back from the beginning. The first 5 minutes of the stream, she answers basically all of those questions. I don't want to say anything wrong, but she answers all of those questions. All right, what's the average salary for QA? Look, I would say go to glassdoor.com. Go to Glassdoor and look up the salary. The reason why is because it's a lot of factors. It depends on where you live. Also, you have to specify what do you mean by QA, because you could be a QA tester, you could be a QA analyst, you could do QA automation. It's a bunch of different types of QA. But again, it's a 6-figure career, meaning that you're either going to start out somewhere a little bit under 100,000 or a little bit over 100,000. I literally have I have messages from Jenny because she's always getting new students into the getting hired. She's always getting new testimonials. And I'm saying these off the top of my head, but some of the testimonials she's shared with me, like recently within the past couple of weeks, will be somebody that started out at like $40-something an hour, or somebody that's starting out at $50-something an hour. So if you do the math, $40-something an hour comes out to about $80-something thousand a year. 50-something thousand comes out to 100-something thousand, like 105 or $110,000 a year, somewhere in that ballpark range. So, but you need to just look on Glassdoor, put in your city, your information, and that'll be listed. Really, just go to the website, like comment QA tester, or just go to the link that's listed. If you go to the link that's listed, all of the information is on the site, how much money you can expect to make depending on what you're doing in QA. All of that information is there. That's why I'm always telling y'all, just go to the website of the bootcamp, because the information is listed there. So yeah, somebody put QA analyst, $96,000. Yeah, so it's a ballpark range. Again, y'all, these are 6-figure careers, meaning you're either going to start out a little bit below 100,000 or you're going to start out a little bit over 100,000. Either way, the goal is to scale. You're going to scale over time. Jenny, I'm not going to go too much deep into the story. Let me get to these questions so I could hop off this live and let y'all enjoy the rest of y'all's evening. Yeah, somebody said QA senior analyst, $129,000. Wow. Yep, that's not shocking at all. And I don't say that to be condescending. I say that to say, like, yeah, this is like spot on with the opportunities. So y'all, we talking like real money. Like, y'all know I don't bring nobody. I don't talk about a job in tech where you're going to be making $60,000, $70,000, which again, that's still good money. That's still better than the majority of people are making. But we talking money. Like, we're talking like money, like straight up. Jennifer is in the chat. Oh, Jennifer's here right now. Let me find out Jennifer here in the chat. Oh, she is here in the chat. Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. Hey, Jenny. Yeah, so Jennifer's in the chat. Those of y'all that are on YouTube, y'all can see her comment. She said, hey, Cyrus and Corey. All right, y'all. I don't think I see any more questions here in the question bubble. So I think I'm going to go ahead and let y'all go. What about CompTIA certs? Same thing. Whatever certifications you want to list, I'm going to tell you. Jenny, if you're here and you want to join the stream, you're more than welcome to. I know that this wasn't planned. Y'all, Jenny is busy. Like, Jenny is like not just building out the program further to like help more people. She's not just instructing her students and doing all of the stuff she's doing, but she also is like in classes herself to get further knowledge so she can like pour that knowledge into the boot camp. So I don't want to put it on you, Jenny, because I know you've been busy. I know you've been doing a lot of stuff, but you are more than welcome to hop onto the stream. If you want to answer a couple more questions, or if you want people to see your face, whatever, you're more than welcome to. But again, please, no pressure, because I know you got a lot going on right now, and I don't want you to feel pressure to do that. And mind you, Jenny, if you want to do that in the future, we can set up a stream. Y'all let me know in the comments and stuff if y'all want to see a stream with Jenny in the future, and we can definitely do that. Just again, y'all, anybody's interested in the information about the boot camp, the discount link, discount code, all of that, just comment QA tester, and you'll receive the information in your DMs. Those of y'all that are on LinkedIn and YouTube, if y'all just look at the description, you'll see the information listed in there. Look like some new comments that popped up. Oh, cool. Jenny said, so Jenny, I'll do this. I'll send you the link really quickly. 1 second. So y'all, this is an exclusive. Jenny's about to join. Let me send her this link. I'm going to send it to you via text, Jenny, but you're going to need to join on your computer if you can. If you can't join on your computer, then you could just join on IG Live. But this is going to be kind of tough because I don't know if this is going to work because so Jenny, in order to join on Instagram Live, you're going to need to also have headphones so we can be on both, and you're going to need to use your cell phone. But if you can't do both, we can just do it on YouTube and LinkedIn, and that's totally fine. And I'll just tell everybody on Insta. Let's just make it simple. Everybody on Instagram, come over to either Tech is a New Black YouTube or come to my LinkedIn, which is Cyrus Harbin, CYRUS HARBIN. So either go to the Tech is a New Black YouTube or come to my LinkedIn page. We're going to do the stream on here. So that way it's simple. It's simpler, more easy. Other than that, if y'all can't make the stream, God bless y'all. I hope y'all have a beautiful, beautiful night. I love y'all. I'll see y'all later for those of y'all that can't make it. All right, cool. So, looks like Jenny's here. What's up? What's up?
Hey! Hi, everyone.
Oh, hold on 1 second.
Can you hear me? No.
I can hear you now.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Oh my gosh. I've never been on YouTube. I should have put some makeup on. Oh my God. I just got off a road to QA call and I talked for an hour, y'all. So, hi. But I was like, I miss Corey. How was everything? I hope you guys got some good insight.
Corey was fire. Now Corey was fire. And she did her thing. Now it was a great. What I liked about the live, and y'all let us know in the comments, I guess, like what y'all enjoyed about it. What I really liked about the stream with Corey is that it really was a testament to how robust Road to QA is. Because y'all let me know if y'all agree, but Corey was very. I'm gonna be very real. I've interviewed people before that have done boot camps and they've gotten into tech, but whenever I've like done a stream with them, it was kind of like they were a little bit like a fish out of water in a way where it's like, okay. So instead of me saying anything negative, let me just focus on the positive. Corey you could tell she knows her stuff as a QA analyst, QA tester. She knows her stuff. Her level of confidence, like it felt like I was streaming with somebody that has been in tech for years. Because I've streamed with people that have been in the industry. But most times when I stream with people, it's usually people that are very new to the industry. And usually they're like, they don't have a lot of answers. It's kind of like, I just got in the industry. I don't really know that much. I'm just telling y'all a little bit of what I know. But she really like knew her stuff. So the more I interviewed her, I was like, the other thing that had me really hyped, I didn't notice about Road to QA. I didn't notice about it at all. but that y'all also coach people on salary negotiation, and not just salary negotiation, but like knowing how much like they should be expecting to make and knowing how to counter the offer letter. I've never heard of a boot camp teaching people how to do that before.
And I'll say, because I'm like, I'm like, where that's at? Hold on. Hold on. No, for real. No, I do have some stuff in there about that, but I also want to give credit to my team too. I'm no longer alone. Like you got to think we have now over 86 people who's landed roles, and 3 individuals that work in Road to QA with me. Like our team, they're all QA analysts, also have landed other roles too, like product owner, not product owner, business analyst and scrum master, and becoming like a QA lead. So I want to also shout out my team, because those individuals also have skills, knowledge, and they support like the heck out of our Road to QAers. So yes, we do have stuff in there. We do talk about that. So yeah, I'm just saying, like, I was like, hold on, which part is she referring to? We talk about a lot now. You see how much stuff. So yeah. Yes, no, the biggest thing is, there are times where we have had individuals take like a role that maybe say entry level, and it was very manual, and maybe they wasn't working. So maybe they took it and it was like 60K or something, but it was a come up for them. Ultimately, I don't want my students really taking less than 40 an hour, at the lowest 35, but 40 an hour at the lowest. So that's my preference. But sometimes people are just in life situations, and if it works for them, if they got what they needed, then that's fine. But I do like for my students to negotiate, because at the same time, if we start taking those, the market is going to start offering that. So we don't want to. If we keep doing that, right? So, and that's why another thing, I think a lot of times, like with students, I'm not saying anything about any other boot camps, but okay, how can I say this? So when we're talking,
how can I say this without sounding bad about the other boot, like talking bad about the other boot camp?
I think I pride myself about Road to QA, in all honesty, is that we speak from real life scenarios. I've had 8 different QA roles. My students now, some of them have had multiple roles. When you come to Road to QA, we are not just talking like this is just all this professional cohort. This is just the terms. I want you to come to my calls and you are talking confidently like you've been doing this.
Yeah.
Like if I ask you, what is the SDLC? I don't want the Google explanation. I want to know how you're going to say that in an interview.
Yeah.
You should be walking around your house talking like you've been doing this for 5 to 7 years. That's how you become confident. So one of the things about Road to QA is scenario-based answers is very important, and putting yourself and looking at who you've been all up until this point, and now relating that to QA. And that's one of the biggest things. When you come to Road to QA, the first thing you're going to do is your pre-homework. The pre-homework is saying, who have I been, and how does this relate to where I'm going? And how can I position this? That's where the confidence comes in. So I was going to say something else, but I'm going to leave right there and I'm going to let you lead it, because
No, that's totally good. Now, please say the other piece you're going to say, because I really was going to just address some of these questions that people are dropping.
No, I'm okay. But I just want to say, thank you. Like Corey, she's so sweet. Like when I tell you, like she's sharp. So combined with Road to QA, she's already a very smart, individual, and very sharp, and just, I don't know. I love Corey. So I love all my students, but I just want everyone to know that it's possible. But what I see in the market is too many of you are trying to get into market and just saying, oh, I just do manual QA. That's the problem. You should be like a QA analyst and a QA engineer, meaning you should be able to articulate your competency level, not just from a front end web application of testing, but also what do you know about database testing? What do you know about API testing? Have you even been exposed to automation tool? Have you tried? So some people don't even land a job because they don't even show that they are trying to be knowledgeable of how to support automation. Because all the time, they're not looking for you just to do automation. They may even bring in a whole automation engineer. But do they feel like you can support the process to go to automation? No, you're too busy saying, oh, I just do manual testing. My 14-year-old daughter can do that. My 14-year-old daughter, if my 14-year-old daughter can get in my iPhone when I'm not looking and I change the password, My 14-year-old daughter can read business requirements and test the iPhone. So how are you going to be competitive? And a lot of people are in the market saying, I want 90K, but I'm only a manual tester.
Yeah. You know what's interesting? When I first broke into tech and I first started going live on Instagram, literally 2 years ago, I started around February of 2022 when I first started talking about the industry and going live. When people would ask me at the time about doing going the QA route at the time, and some of these videos are still on my YouTube, like from the lives, I used to say at first, hey y'all, I don't recommend y'all going the manual QA route because it's not a lot of money. But I answered that based off of my knowledge of, just like you mentioned, just the manual QA and not the other opportunities that are in the space. And so, of course, as time has gone by, I realized like, oh snap, my answer wasn't necessarily wrong, but it was very limited. And I was only giving an answer based off of limited knowledge and limited perspective. And so as time is going on, now I've learned about the other opportunities in the QA space, which also on the flip side correlates to more money that people are able to demand.
Right. And I don't feel, so if someone asks me, is manual QA going away? I don't feel it's going away. There still has to be a human element, a human eye. It just, but there is going to be a few things that are going to happen. More people are going to be competitive with other levels of testing and skills. So you're competing against them, right? Yeah. And then on top of that, because of automation, because every company is always going to want to automate, right? There may be still a lower amount of jobs. Now, that doesn't mean that there won't be no testing roles. It just means that you need to upskill just a little bit more. Some roles aren't just manual front end testing, UI testing. You may also have, like I said, database validation, API testing. They may not even want you to do automation, but they want you to run a few API calls and verify the requests and things of that nature, right? So can you even do that? And so the problem that I see is people don't even want to do that. You want to, it's like as soon as they see like numbers, data, code, they're like, I don't want to try. Like, you should still have a competency level. Say, yes, I have this amount of years as a manual tester or front end tester. And I don't like the word manual. I like to say, functional tester. But you can, talk to that level of experience in the different types of testing, because then you have your smoke, your regression, your end-to-end, all of these things. But then also, how do you think about testing? Another thing is, if I ask you, how do you test the Netflix account? How do you test it? Some people don't even think outside of the box of that, right? You can test it from a functional perspective. You can test it from the usability to the so functional, is it meeting the business requirements? How usable? How does it feel to the user, right? And also the look and the feel of the buttons and things in the UI. So there are different 3 ways that you can test that. But how do you think about testing? Most people don't even show that they're analysts, that they're engineer. They just want to quote the terms and then say, well, I have this skill, but how do you think about, you can have the skill, but how are you going to help us make sure that we have a quality product so that it does not get to the end user? Yeah. And we don't lose money.
Yeah. That's something I actually think that Corey and I didn't touch on. It's actually what, like she explained some of what it is, but I didn't dive in deep as to what, like, the value of the role and what it does for a company. And more so, I would say the value of the industry, the whole QA sub industry in and of itself. And so I'll give us my simplified explanation, and I want you to kind of like unpack it further, so that way all of y'all understand like what the industry, the QA industry, entails. So one simple way that I usually explain it is that, this is probably gonna be, you're probably gonna laugh at this explanation, because it's so funny. If you weren't on here, I would feel so confident in my explanation, but now I'm like, dang, you know what? I'm like, this is a pretty like elementary explanation, but I'm gonna give my elementary explanation, and please pick it apart and explain to people what's right.
Okay, and what's wrong. You put me on the spot now. I'm like, oh my God, what am I gonna say? Okay, so you go ahead.
All right, y'all. So this was my simplified explanation of of like QA. So usually, so think Instagram. Think Instagram, y'all. So y'all know how Instagram's always coming out with a new feature. So think about Reels, like when Instagram came out with Reels, which y'all know is a response to TikTok. Before Instagram came out with Reels, it was on their product roadmap where they were basically saying, hey, we need to come out with a feature that's going to compete with this TikTok thing. So their engineers started developing it, building it out, and other things happen first. First, they have to kind of come up with the idea and what it's going to look like, whatever. But anyway, they build it out. Before it's released to the public, it's still basically behind the scenes, and only certain people in the company have access to it. Now, the QA team, they will go in and test out the features, the functionality, the look and the feel before it's put on what's called GA, or general availability, to where all of us have access to it. So the QA team will look and make sure that certain buttons are working. And of course, we're talking virtual buttons, but this also could be physical buttons depending on the type of a company or product. But again, keeping it to Instagram, they would test out the virtual buttons. They'll look at like the color palette. They'll say this button should be here. They will say this doesn't make sense over here. They'll say, yo, this thing right here isn't actually working. They'll literally like just fool around with it, but in a very detailed, strategic manner to make sure it makes sense and will provide value to both the customer, the clients, the company, whatever. And then after a while of things being changed, they'll give the feedback. It'll go to the engineers. The engineers will work on it. And then eventually, after a while, when everybody cohesively has said, okay, look, we agree on how this is, we're going to go ahead and release this. Maybe not to everybody, but y'all know when Instagram or social media platforms release something to a test group or to a small group of people first, I think that's called EAP, Early Adopters Program, when they kind of do like an early release, test it out, get feedback. And then after a while, once they feel confident enough, then they'll put it on general availability to where most of the masses have access to it. So that's my simplified explanation as to what it is. So please pick that apart and explain to people in a more in-depth way what it actually looks like.
Well, essentially, I think you did good, right? So like you said, right, you can have like you said, early adopters or maybe beta or alpha. So sometimes they actually send it to an internal team or external team. So sometimes they may have like they, again, you have the UAT environment, but they may have it like a closed group of customers before they send it, or they might just do something internal and the team is actually doing it. So essentially, the software, testing the software is really just making sure that it's doing what it's supposed to do per the business requirements and the client's expectations and needs. So whatever the business requirement says how the button should be, what is the functionality, what is the performance, like when you test, is it meeting that, right? But then during the process of testing, the clients or the stakeholders could decide to make changes, right? Or maybe there are updates, and it affects the users, and so it comes back for maintenance. So normally a software product is going through the software development process, or the SDLC. So, and that has generally about 6 phases, and sometimes it's a little, different from company to company or how everybody wants to categorize the SDLC. But you have your requirement analysis phase where the company is actually coming up with, or Amazon is coming up with what they want. Then they put it in, then they actually design it, how they want it to look. Then they code it up. The developers are going to code it up. Then it goes to testing, whether it's an internal team or external team. Once it goes to QA is going to make sure it meets the business requirements. And then after that, it's going to move into, depending on how many environments they have, the staging or UAT environment. That, I believe, Corey, is actually in UAT. So basically, it sounds like it might have passed through the QA environment. These features are now in UAT.
What does UAT mean?
User acceptance. User acceptance. So at this point, it went through testing, and now that's where, depending on company, because sometimes they run QA teams different, it could actually be now going into that internal team that looks or works with the business to also validate, hey, we want to push this out before we actually push it to production. So it's like another staging. Again, it can always, be different across company to company, and how they want to tailor QA is not the same across company to company. But so now it goes from QA and maybe that UAT, where they're doing it. It's like a last validation before we say, okay, it's approved. It meets definition of done. It's a complete iteration of the software, and they can use it. Let's get it out there. We got the defects out. It meets the minimum viable requirements. We're going to push it. And that's basically the cycle. And then it goes into development, and then it goes into maintenance. It comes back, and it can go back through the cycle. But then companies can also decide if they're on an agile environment, agile methodology. So meaning the process of workflow, or how they actually push things out with it, whether they do a sprint. So maybe let's say we have a banking app, and they first start out and they say, okay, for this sprint iteration, this is a brand new banking app. We're going to come up with the checking feature. So they come up with all the requirements, then they code it up, then they deploy, then they code it, we test it, we deploy it, right? Okay, the next sprint, we're doing it again, but now we're going to the checking, or we're adding or the savings, and now we're going to add some more features. We do it again. So that's what's like a waterfall environment, where you're constantly actually doing all the things to get new features out to the users. So, I mean, it's a lot more that can be unpacked in that, but I hope that helps.
No, that helps a lot. That is fire. There's so much that goes into it, a lot more than I even understood. And I love it. I love it so much. Hopefully y'all can see how, because I know a lot of y'all have heard me talk about tech sales or sales engineering, which is a field that I'm very familiar with. But it's like a lot of people, like a lot of y'all told me, like, Cyrus, I don't want to have to like be in customers' faces virtually. I don't want to have to do those types of things. Is there another type of role? You say I ain't trying to do that either.
I would take $100,000 less just not to talk to customers. This is who I am. Like, I'm good. I will go invest my money somewhere before I got to keep talking to customers. I've been in customer support, technical support for too long. And y'all be making some money. Y'all be hearing them numbers. I'd be tempted, but I'd be like, you know what? I'm gonna have an attitude tomorrow. I'm good. So I'm good.
No, I love like the variety of opportunities, especially such a booming space like the QA space. I love that a lot. Man, I love that so much. So I want to do just a couple more questions, and I definitely want to.
And I just want to say, on top of what you said, I think the biggest thing, and this is where Road to QA is going now, is realizing, like, although we focus on QA as the pivot, we're now becoming where inside we have like our own Udemy of things and skills that people should know. So just like how we're adding, go, be a BA, be a product owner. Now it's not going to be a whole program like Road to QA, but once you understand our process, you understand that you now have transferable skills. So whether it's QA or tech, guess what? You could have landed your first QA skill set, QA role, and now you're like, man, Cyrus be talking them numbers. I'm going to tech sales. I don't care about talking to customers, right? Well, guess what? That's still transferable. There's still a quality aspect in tech sales. So how do you position to just take what you've already learned, put a little sprinkles on top, and tell them, I can do this job too? Yeah. And I think the biggest thing is that people don't understand that once you get into one, now it's about, you can keep going. You don't have to stay there. So
yeah, no, I love that so much. All right, somebody said this is a great dialogue. Thank you. Thank you for that, Seth. All right, so Kiki says, I started halfway through October. I would be finished if I did stop. Yeah, y'all don't stop. But I mean, it's fine, Kiki. You can pick it back up now. I mean, that's the same thing Corey said. Corey said she started in January, but then she took like a break. And that's one of the things she mentioned is the importance of consistency, the importance of like following through, being consistent, all of that. But it's totally fine, Kiki. Just started back up. Mr. Wall Street One asks, he says, so is this part of the agile process?
Yeah. What I went through essentially. Yeah. So, they can be on an agile Scrum methodology. Yes. Where they're constantly pushing out, new requirements, and it's all going through that process, but maybe they're doing it every 2 weeks. So every 2 weeks, something happening. Even with that, defects could be reported, then defects can be resolved by the developers. You got to retest them, and they're going through that cycle.
All right, I see a few people. So Thank you for that. Somebody answered. A few people were asking how many hours a day do you dedicate to it, but then where did the answer go?
I was trying to find my husband because I like to get him to pop in and
Y'all
talk about he's going through a weird experience. He's like only
y'all. Her husband is a character. He is
embarrass me if he come on here live.
I didn't tell you. I'm gonna. Oh dang, you're in Cabo, not Cancun.
That's
I'm
okay.
gonna be in next weekend. Actually, I'll be in Cancun.
Okay, send me a message. We send me a message. Send us a message.
Yeah, I'll be there. Yeah, y'all. So someone, I'm happy that they answered this. Someone mentioned that it's self-paced, but and I'm sure Jennifer would agree with this. They say, but it's a lot of information, so you don't want to rush through it. Yeah, y'all, please don't rush through these things. Absorb the information so that way you can communicate things confidently, and that you actually know it. And so
right. You can regurgitate all the tools and the skills all day long, but confidence, that like we can see that. They can see that in the market. And yes, you can get through the program, but you need to then rework your resume. Can you speak to every bullet point? Can you speak from scenario-based answers? Like there's a lot that goes through that. So I feel that anyone could probably get through my program. Honestly, if you maybe put 2 hours a day in under 60 days. But I think even for myself, I don't think I realized how much was enrolled to QA. And we're revamping again.
Yeah.
I'm about to record it. I'm like, why am I doing this? Like, but I love my students. So it's but it's all to give them more hands-on. My goal is for my students to be to be very competitive without having to go back to school and get into debt.
Vonda asks, is this great for stay-at-home moms? Is it flexible with your time?
Absolutely. Actually, one of our students, and Lydia, I believe, sent you a message about Lydia.
Yeah, you did.
She actually was pretty much, I believe, I want to say her story right, but I think she's on a post on my Instagram. She was, I believe, a stay-at-home mom, but she did work some jobs in and out, and she actually landed her first job on Upwork. It was supposed to be a 3-month contract, and they extended it for almost 2 years already.
Wow. So she went from 3 months to 2 years. That's incredible. Yes. Yo, that's such a testament to, because usually when companies do that, it's because they hire somebody on thinking like, okay, either one, we don't really think that we need you that much, or two, they're thinking like, yeah, we're not really sure about you. But then that's a testament to her, like her actually proving herself and proving the information that proving the knowledge that she had gained from Road to QA. So I always love hearing testimonies like that. That is fire. That is fire. All right, y'all. So Jenny, I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream, but I definitely, one, I want to remind everybody about this, and two, I want to give you the floor if there's anything else that you want to say. So again, for everybody that's just popping in, because I know there's people popping in and popping out, for the information for the bootcamp, if you actually look at the description, whether you're on YouTube or LinkedIn, if you look at the description, you'll see both the discount link as well as the discount code. So that way you're able to save $150. So definitely take advantage of that. So literally the information is right there for y'all. Other than that, wait, like one more question popped up. Oh yeah, that's actually a good question. Someone asked that earlier. Are people able to do Road to QA, or do you have students that are Canadians, or are y'all accepting Canadian students right now?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm gonna get back with my program manager. I think the biggest thing is, normally what I say is look in your market, and if you feel there's opportunities, I mean, like we teaching you the skill. Now you just position and go out there. As long as you feel like there's opportunity in your area. Literally, if you look up QA analyst, there's a whole bunch of jobs in Mexico. Now, if I spoke Spanish, or if I was, so I just feel so really, I feel it's about the skill and the opportunity. So for me, yes, I mean, like you come to the internship, you'll have your reference, you go to the internship, you do all the things. I think it's about you identifying where you're actually located, because I know a lot of us want remote roles, but the truth of the matter is whether it's remote, on-site, or hybrid, are there opportunities still local to you, so you feel like your enrollment, your investment is worth it?
Exactly. Yeah, and that's really what it's about. I appreciate that answer so much. Hopefully y'all can appreciate that answer too, because it would behoove a founder to say, oh yeah, go ahead, come one, come all. But for her to answer and say, yo, like legit, like look at your market, because yeah, there's a crap ton of companies in the US that are hiring people that live in the US that are in the QA space. And there are a lot of companies in the US that are hiring people even if you live in Canada. But there are some companies that might not. And then there are a lot of tech companies that are in Canada that, of course, are hiring Canadians. So just like she mentioned, definitely like take a peek at your market, look at the opportunities that are there, all of that good stuff. So Jenny, before we hop off, is there anything else you wanted to leave everybody with before we jump?
No, I can't wait till I see myself on here. I'm looking crazy, but I did an internship call, I did a Road to QA talk call. It's like, oh my goodness. But I just wanted to hop on because first of all, I want to thank you. I want to thank your audience. I know sometimes we're on the internet, you don't know if people are real. I love what we do. And I know we're making more additions, to bring to Road to QA. But I want to remind everyone that even from our program alone, like over 40 people landed jobs before we ever had an internship.
Wow, before y'all even started
the internship, 40. I just started offering internship December of last year. And then we basically had about 4 to 5 people land roles all year up until October.
December of last year. You mean December?
Not last year. 2020. Yeah.
So 2022.
Yeah. And I do 2 weeks where I'm talking for 10 days and you're in the community. But I just want to say that because a lot of times we are feeling imposterous. We think it's not possible. I have people from welders to stay-at-home moms to people who have degrees, who don't have degrees. Like people in 24, I think the youngest that's landed role is 24. It's possible. And whether it's my program, you don't ever have to come to my program, but if you do, we welcome you. But whether it's my program or any other resources that SARS give you, I think the biggest point is for you to realize just what I said. Who have you been up until this point? And where am I trying to go? What skills, what gaps in my skill set or understanding do I need to go to acquire? Where do I acquire it? And now when I get into the market, how can I articulate it from a competency level of I'm familiar, exposed, I'm knowledgeable of, and experience to let them know that I can do the job. And then go into the market, whoever you're trying to show up to be career-wise, keep upskilling yourself so that your level of competency is now something that can compete in the market. So I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot. No,
yeah. Like, I'm trying to say it's possible, but ultimately I just want you to know, like, it's possible. It doesn't have to be QA. It could be tech sales, it could be whatever it is. I think what holds people back is imposter syndrome. And the first thing we say is, I didn't have that title. You have experience. Now stand on who you are, reposition it, and go get the gaps. And now tell a great career story that you can do the job. A lot of my students land the roles because of their confidence and showing that they're go-getters, not just skill. Their personality is what's also selling them, is getting them a job. So I hope that helps. That's all I got.
Yeah, no, that helps a lot. No, thank you so much for that. Last question someone asked, and then we'll jump. They said, are program upgrades included, or is there any additional fee? Is it just for the 12 months?
Yes, so when you join Road to QA, we are a 1-year program. You get 1 internship seat. After your year, you have the option to be on a discounted class pass at $49 a month or $497 for the year once you are actually a student. So it's actually cheaper, and you can keep coming back if you choose. If not, then that's fine. But yes, updates, as long as you're in your active year on a class pass, you get access to everything we do.
That is fire. That is fire. Somebody say, oh yeah, everybody on YouTube, hit the like button. Somebody say hit the like button. I always forget to mention that whenever I'm streaming. Yeah, please y'all hit the like button.
I look crazy, but
Look, y'all know I don't ask for money. I don't ask for nothing. The only thing I will ask is if y'all can hit the like button. Because of course it helps out a lot. Actually, it hurts us if you're watching and you don't hit the like button. It actually hurts because what it says to the algorithm, it says to the YouTube, LinkedIn algorithm is that, okay, a lot of people were on, but they didn't show that they liked the content. So because of that, we're going to assume that people don't like the content, even though that they're tuning in, and we're not going to recommend your content. So again, the only thing I ask y'all to do is to like the content. Again, we give a free game, all that good stuff out here. Again, y'all, for those of y'all that have tuned in late or missed anything, just look at the description for the bootcamp link as well as for the discount code. So that way y'all saving yourself some money when it comes to this huge opportunity to break into the tech industry in the QA field. Thank you, Jenny, so much. If y'all want to see more, definitely watch the Tech is the New Black episode with Jenny. Is a fire episode with her story with her and her husband, them breaking into tech, them job stacking, how her and her husband met when he shot his shot at her when they were on the bus, taking the city bus. Like, make sure y'all watch this incredible interview. It's doing numbers right now. A lot of people are watching it, giving a lot of great feedback. Anyway, thank y'all for tuning in. I love y'all, man. Many blessings to all of y'all. Thank you so much, Jenny. I'll hit you up, Jenny, and let you know when we're gonna be out there.
Yeah, let us know. My husband to be like, hold on, what he saying? So yeah, let me know. Let me know. I
want to party with your husband.
Right, I'm trying to tell you, and because I won't be there long. I can't do it. Like, I'm good. I'm gonna let y'all have that one.
Over here for it.
All right,
cool. Everybody have a great night.
All right.